shadows where the whispers dwell, always trying to unring the bell. The red road calls a path less known, with haunted streets where the eerie winds moan. Creatures lurking just beyond the light, not just tales spun to frighten the night. The masquerade of ghosts, they walk along in this gritty realm. We're all too young. Take the red road, let the spirits unfold. Follow RezNeck, Calkins, let the mysteries be told. Through the dark we'll weave into the unknown. With each step we take, closer to home.
Welcome back to Red Road Paranormal, everyone. Again, I'm your host, the RezNeck. Your favorite RezNeck's here tonight in the house. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Hey, tonight I have a very special guest, a new friend of mine, Mr. Rick Waid. Come on up here. Hey, Rick, how you doing tonight?
I can't hear anything.
Uh-oh. We're running issues in the back.
No audio, my friend.
Why don't you go ahead and jump out and come back in?
Yeah, see if that'll help.
Can you hear me now? All right. Go out.
All right, I'll go back out. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. We have gremlins in the studio tonight on Rick's end. We've been having some issues with him losing his audio. Hopefully, we can get him out and come back in, and it'll work again.
Yeah, because we got him working there just for a few minutes, and it seemed like it was working right before we hit the show.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here.
I'm back on.
Yep.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm not. This is what happens, man. Every time I do something, there's always something bad happening, man. All right. Hang on. Let me come right back again. Hang on.
All right. Jump out and come back.
Let's try this one more time.
Sean might as well pop up here and hang out with us.
Yeah, it seems like we're having issues with gremlins for whatever reason, especially when he pops in backstage. I have two of him. And here we go again. So it must be a StreamYard
kind of
issue.
error or something.
All right. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Sean, stay up here. Don't move. Don't change nothing. Don't breathe. Just stand up pretty.
I'll just take here and chill, bro.
All right. So, Rick, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You're a seer. You're a medium. You work with cold cases.
Well, I've been in the paranormal for 22 years. When I first started paranormal, my first obsession in the paranormal was messing with EVPs. That's how I got started and really put time and energy into the paranormal field, because I was hearing EVPs at a different frequency than other people. Because I had Bell palsy when I was younger, and what happened was they ended up giving me some pills to help my ear grow back, and ended up giving me a special hearing where I was hearing a different frequency in my left ear, and in my right ear I was hearing a 36-year-old.
Okay.
So I was able to hear like children's spirits talking, and other people couldn't hear because they couldn't hear that frequency. So that's how I started. That's how I got started in the paranormal. And it was to a point where, honestly, it was kind of driving me crazy, because, I would go places and I would hear all these voices, but nobody else could hear them. Only kids could hear them. Only kids.
Yep.
Because they could hear that frequency, but an adult could not hear that frequency. So it was really kind of interesting.
All right. Now, do you think, as far as the theory of kids hearing them frequencies, is that because, they're more open-minded, that they haven't been taught that, it ain't real, they haven't been brainwashed yet?
Yes, definitely. And honestly, it's something to do with their hearing too. I just think that they hear better as you get older. You don't hear as much. You don't hear the same frequencies as a younger person will hear.
Right.
Ears.
Yeah, all the loud music, loud cars, everything we do in the factory work, we do lose some of our hearing. I've noticed that as I'm getting older, that I'm not hearing as sharply.
Definitely.
So,
but the thing is about me, whenever I first started doing the EVPs, I was capturing 30 EVPs a minute. So I would work with paranormal groups, but back in the days, the groups I was working with didn't even care about EVPs. And that was my go-to thing when I went on investigations, was my EVPs. But they didn't care about it. They wanted, something physical to happen or something visual to happen. And so I was kind of like put on the side. You know what I mean? I was put on the side. So every time I went out to do stuff, I would actually get information connected to what their medium was bringing up. One investigation, the lady said, listen, this guy's coming on me. His name is John. He wants to be with me. And I'm just sitting here laughing on the couch. I'm like, this is crazy. This doesn't happen. This is not really happening. And then I went home and listened to that recorder, and I'd be darned if John wasn't talking, trying to get with the lady. It blew me away. I said, this is really real. Mediums are real. Psychics are real. So I was kind of blown away.
Oh, yeah. Without my background, I think I'd be blown away too if I started hearing stuff like this, and it was correlating to what was already experienced there at the investigation. It's you got to realize though, when we pass away, we have the same personality that we had in this life. So therefore, if you're a flirt or you see someone that you're attracted to, yeah, you're probably going to hit on them. You are going to talk smack.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think that's what was going on. And like I said, I used to watch a lot of paranormal shows. I used to watch a lot of medium shows. And I was obsessed with that stuff. I really wanted to be able to connect with past loved ones, be able to connect with people's energy. But it took me years before I was able to do that. I had to do the recording first. I had to actually get my energy had to be set up in a certain way before I was allowed to be able to remote view. See, I remote view, and you know what remote viewing is? Remote viewing, actually seeing things in another place or another time where you shouldn't be seeing it. Or actually feeling it, or actually watching it, or experiencing it in your own basement whenever it's in California happening. So that's kind of remote viewing. You can see things in another area that you should not be able to see.
Right.
But when I first started, it was the EVPs came first, then the actual remote viewing came. Started happening for me, but it's almost like I had to get rid of the audio recorder. I had to actually put the audio recorder down. I had to put it down and actually try to understand what was being given to me by a higher power. See, they wanted me to get rid of the recorder and actually start seeing things. So what was happening was I was slowly getting weaned off the recorder, and then pretty soon things was being shown to me in my visual. I could actually see things an hour ahead of time, what was going to happen, or a day later, or even on my next job. I was able to see specific things. Like I would actually go see a hole in the floor. In my mind, I would say, I'm going to go to this house, and the guy's going to say, hey, be careful with the hole in the floor. And I walk in the house, and the guy said, hey, be careful with the hole in the floor. I was actually seeing things, hearing things that was happening 2 hours later or 3 hours later. So that was what was so cool about my gift, because the recorders was amazing for a long time, but it got to a point where, some of the stuff didn't make any sense on investigations or on missing person cases. I was getting too many voices. So it was kind of confusing me. And people were kind of like, well, this guy's he's got some, man, he's hearing too many voices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It got to a point where this other gift of sight was actually giving me direct connect information to missing persons or to a haunted location. I would have paranormal teams come to me and say, listen here, Rick, here's a picture of this house. Can you tell me what you see? And I would actually see things about the house, what was going on, the story, and then I would actually see what's going to happen on the investigation later. So it was kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah, I've had people come to me with pictures of like houses or locations. I'll pick up on things, but it's just little blips. It's never a full picture. So are you getting blips, or you get like the full picture, like you're actually walking through ahead of time?
Yeah, basically I kind of put myself into a place, which is how it is. So it's basically like, it's almost like this is what it is. I'm actually hovering over a house. It's like see through the house, and I can watch activity going on. So that's what I do that. What's really kind of cool about my gift is I can actually, whenever I first started, I would be able to actually almost to a point where I could give evidence to happen before it happened. And they would be ready for it because they knew it was going to happen, because that's what was going on with me. Like, for instance, I said, listen, I feel like one of your team members is going to fall down the steps and sprain her ankle. And they're like, come on, man, we don't want to hear that, And it happened.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's the gift of sight, the gift of knowledge.
And the thing about it, I always use my EVP still. My EVPs are really strong. They're really good. Even if I do gallery readings, I do EVP sessions before I do gallery readings. EVPs are pretty amazing because some people have the ability to hear. Some people don't. Some people are gifted. Some people are not. Or they're not trained to be gifted. You understand me? They have to put time and energy into that. But I'll do like a ghost, go out now. I kind of teach people like a paranormal team. I'll have them like sit down. I'll say, here's an EVP I captured in the actual haunted location. I'll take the gifted people on the left side, take the paranormal people on the right side. The paranormal people on the right side are hearing static, but the gifted people are hearing exactly what I'm hearing. So it's kind of cool to experience that.
Yep. Yeah, I do know some people that claim not to be gifted that are really big into the EVPs, and that's their go-to. I look at it like this. Evidence is evidence. It don't matter how you get it, but if it correlates with everything else that's there, then you're supposed to have that knowledge.
Oh, 100%.
It doesn't matter how you retain it. So now we kind of ran through a lot there. Let's go back to the remote viewing. At what point did you actually start with the remote viewing, and what really got you there? Was it just like an overnight snap, then all of a sudden you could do it, or
no? See, once I got rid of the recorder, actually I kind of had to put it aside, but I use it for actual seeing things in the future. Basically what it was I didn't know I was remote viewing. I didn't have no clue what that was. Basically what it was is I was just seeing things in the future, and I couldn't know what it was. I would write down 5 things, and 5 things would be shown to me later that day. So that's what was going on with me. It went from 20% all the way up to 80% out where I was accurate with my information. So I got on a website called Unexplained, Unexplained Mysteries, back in the day before Facebook. And I went on there and I made a post, let me see what's around you. And people would come on. This is how I got training. This is how I learned things. People would come on. I'd have hundreds of people say, listen, can you see what's around me? And I would just look. And it would be shown to me. For instance, this individual, I keep seeing a shoe drawing of one shoe. And I was telling her, I keep seeing a shoe drawing. And then she actually sent pictures over through the web. She's an artist. And all she does is draw one shoe. That's what she does. So that's what I was seeing, things connected to people. It could be the smallest thing. It could be like, like their lampshade has a rip in it or something. I'm seeing a lampshade with a rip in it. And next thing you know, they're showing this to me. And that's what it was. I was just seeing things around. Now, how was I doing it? Was that really remote viewing, or was that reading a person's mind? I always wonder, am I really reading a person's mind, or am I actually remote viewing? Because when readings now, it's almost like I step their energy and become part of them, which is be able to see what's going on, be able to feel what's going on, be able to understand what's going on. But I'm telling you, the remote viewing, I didn't know anything about it until people kept coming on and showing me, hey, this is what you're doing, and gave me information. And like I said, I just thought I was just seeing things around people. I had no clue, but I worked at it. I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of readings. If you in your mind and you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it, you will get better. You will get better. Open up more. You'll experience more. And that's what it was. That's what was happening. When I first started, of course, I was seeing all kinds of stuff that wasn't connecting to. So until I finally started having my one spirit guide or guardian or whatever you want to call was giving me the correct information. I used to get like multiple things given to me too, even with the audio and with the actual seeing things and remote viewing, until I finally found that one energy or spirit guide that was giving me direct connect information, which is really kind of cool.
It is. I know, like with me and my journey, the more I get out to these haunted locations, the more investigations I do, the stronger I get with being able to tap into the location and communicate with the spirits that are there or the entities that are there. It depends on what we're dealing with. And it just seems to get stronger and stronger the more you do it. And it's just like the old workout deal. The more you work out, the stronger that muscle gets, the better your abilities become.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, when I first started with my recorder, whenever I started getting my gifts of sight, I would actually take a pad of paper and pencil, and I would walk through a location, writing down exactly what I was seeing and what I was feeling. And then we would do an investigation, and I would show people what I had. And it really matched up to what was going on. Now, I have not worked on that gift in a long, long time because I don't do it anymore. I don't actually hook up with paranormal groups anymore. Sometimes an EVP show or something with them, but I just don't use that ability anymore. I usually, whenever I do a ghost hunt, I just take my recorder and I blow people's mind with just the audio recorder. And then I am able to hear real-time voices. So if a spirit is around, they might say, "Hey, what's up, Rick?" And I'll be able to hear that and capture it on the recorder, which blows people's mind because I'm hearing it and I'm capturing it on the recorder.
Nice, nice. That's very cool. You know, I think I'd blow my mind if I actually walked in and I actually physically heard it and then captured it, you know, on a recorder. You
And
know,
I,
I've had times where we've actually heard voices but haven't been able to capture on the recorder. And been more than one person hearing what the voices were saying.
well, see, they can do that. They can control this audio. I've actually recorded a conversation, and then all of a sudden, that conversation the next day completely changed to something else. Okay, not even exactly say the first night I heard I killed him, and then the next day I hear the three boys. So the audio changed, but adding more to what's going on. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy. It almost makes you think, man, am I going nuts here? Because why? Yesterday I heard, I killed the kids, and then all of a sudden I hear the three boys now, and it was really weird. I would do that sometimes where it would flip off and on to a different audio, which I'm like, what I was doing was hearing a different frequency, and I didn't understand it. So I would hear a higher frequency or a lower frequency. So I was getting the guy that killed the kids had frequency. Then I was hearing something more like on the kids level communicating. So I was hearing two different frequencies. That's why I was hearing on the audio, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is. You know, I never come across that. That's actually very a unique situation.
Well, I have, honestly, whenever I used to do the audio recording, I used to actually take 3 recorders with me. And I'm telling you, you put 3 recorders down right next to each other, give a little space, and then you do an EVP session, or you just leave it there and you walk away. Most of my evidence I caught was leaving a recorder at a location and walking away. And then I would get information on there. I would honk the horn and leave the location, and then I'd honk the horn when I got back. Anything in between, there's nobody there. So if I would get anything like slamming a door or walking or something, I knew that was actually paranormal, which is kind of cool. So I actually, and the thing is about the recorder though, you put 3 recorders, I would sometimes hear a male talking at the same time at 101, and then a female on the second recorder, 101, 1 minute and 1 second, and then a third recorder, 1 minute and 1 second, saying something different. All 3 spirits are talking on 3 different recorders.
Yep. Now, if you have 3 recorders going, 3 different spirits, in theory, that could be 3 different timelines that are coming through right at that same moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you get your information from.
Yep, definitely.
Timelines, dimensions, however you want to look at it. That's something very interesting. I think we should take another look at, as investigators, and actually try some experiments like that. The different recorders in the same spot. Now, I'm a big one. I'll start a recorder. Like I have an old Samsung Galaxy phone I take out with me. A lot of times I'll put the voice recorder on and I'll leave that in a room. Whatever room that I feel the most that where it belongs, that's where I'll leave it. And I'll go back and sometimes I'll catch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually, one of the best EVPs ever caught actually came out of my vehicle because I actually forgot to turn the voice recorder off on the phone, threw it up on the front seat and took off. And a couple hours later, come across the phone, you back it up a little bit, and right there, clear as day, there's a voice record. There's a voice clip.
Well, and about EVPs, people got to understand, you can take a recording of an actual spirit talking, and if you pay attention, now see, I have this unique ability to hear. So whenever I put the actual recorder on an actual app like Waid, a lot of times people, there's actual highs and lows whenever a voice comes on, right? So yours is, let's say it's 3 inches high on the program, but a spirit voice might be 1 inch high because it's a lower frequency, right?
Yep.
So, but the thing is, I'm able to hear a frequency at a straight line. So I'm able to hear that spirit talking at a straight line, where most people will just pass that whole audio recording up. They'll pass it up and it's
Yep.
gone. And they miss so much stuff in the middle there that's actually being spoken to them.
Yeah. You know, I'm a firm believer to actually listen to everything. Don't run through software to try to shorten your time down. That's why I have so much stuff I have to go through. Because I'll sit and watch every second of the video, listen to every second of the recordings of the audio to go through it. I won't run it through a system to try to figure out what's there.
Well, also about the recorders, I was actually talked to another medium, and she would actually help me on missing person cases. And basically what she would do is take the audio that I would give her, and she would slow it down or speed it up, and she would come up with a whole bunch of things. I mean, she sent me like 100 little words or something. But I'm telling you, so much of that stuff connected to the actual missing person cases. So I'm just wondering how she was getting it. How was she would slow the audio down, she would get that name. She slowed the audio down, she'd get the incident where the person got hit by a car. I mean, all this stuff was actually pretty amazing. But she told me that in EVP, you can slow it down to a lower audio and you can hear more, or you can speed it up and you can hear more. There's more to an EVP than just listening to it and all of a sudden you get one capture. If you slow it down, or if you take that audio recording and you reverse it, sometimes you can get another word in there too. Oh, what's up, Michael?
That's a good buddy of mine, Mr. Alsip. So yeah, you know, I know there's a lot of people that, you know, talk about, you know, when you play things backwards, you get other voices. Some say if someone's lying and you play the lie backward, the truth will come out. You know, I've heard everything from the Beatles to supposedly, you know, speeches by Bill Clinton that people have played backwards and gotten other things out of.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's something to it.
Oh, there definitely is. Definitely is. But you
So,
know,
yeah.
The thing is about my audio, though. I mean, it's almost like, you know, I had to do the audio for a period of time. Then I had to do the actual remote viewing for a period of time, which I didn't know what I was doing. And then after that, I started doing past life readings. And I didn't know what that was. You know, I'm just having fun. I'm just remote viewing and seeing things, right? But what I was really doing, and I didn't know, was I was tapping into people's inner, okay? I was tapping into dreams. So I started reading past lives. So this one lady sent me a message on this website and said, hey, can you read my past life? I said, yeah, I'll give it a go. So I would go send her information in private message. I would see her actually as a serial killer, and she would kill people and cut them up and put them in bags and bury them around the city. This is what I was seeing for this lady. Now it sounds pretty bad, right? So
Yeah.
she contacted me and she's bawling her eyes out, said, "You not believe this, man, but every night I'm killing people. I'm putting them in bags and I'm burying them in the city. Every night I have this dream." So I'm tapping, even though I think this is a past life that she was a serial killer, but maybe I'm just tapping into her energy now where she thinks about it, or maybe she really was a serial killer in the past life.
Very well possible. You know, you're picking up on her past life also, though you're seeing she's picking up on it because it's in her DNA from the past. Like say all your lives are in your DNA. She's picking up on that and you're just confirming it.
Yep.
You know?
And what a shocking thing. You know, I'll tell you another story. I was reading two individuals on two different websites, and I didn't know they were both coming to me for a reading. Okay.
Yep. Lady Mystic is also another medium that works with cold cases and missing people.
Cool.
You know?
And the thing is about, I had these two individuals from different websites contact me, and they wanted me to do a past life. They wanted me to do a reading. Well, it was past life reading back in Okay, so I offered a connection on both of them, and I didn't know they were friends. Okay, I didn't know they were friends. So I read this person. I said, I see you was abducted. I see they worked on your body. I see you was up in an aircraft, you know, on a UFO. I did the same thing with the other person. So they ended up coming back on the website and telling me that they actually both were abducted at the same time by a UFO. Now, how crazy is that? Two different
Right.
two different people, but they're both connected on that way. So I saw them being abducted, and that's exactly what would happen to them. In their mind, did it really happen? Or was it in a past life? Whatever, it was connecting to them in a way that they were shocked.
That would kind of be interesting to dive into on that one. You know.
And you know, another thing, I did another reading for a past life reading on another website, and I read this individual, and then and I have these readings. So, but I read this individual, gave him all this information, and then this individual came to another website where I was on, and they asked for a reading, but they had a different name, right? So I ended up connecting with that energy. And it was exactly, I'm talking word for word, with exactly the same past life, because it was the same person, but I
Yep.
had different names.
So what's it?
What's up, Laura?
Laura's been taken many times, she says. You know. Well, I'm glad they let you come back. I really am. You know. Yeah, I always wondered about that, you know. For those that have been taken and brought back, you know, those of us with gifts, if we'd actually be able to see something like that and pick up on it. And according to you, yeah, you do.
Well, it's definitely interesting. You know, I've tested all this stuff so much on all these websites and stuff, even the remote viewing. What I would do is I would take 5 different people and I would start them at 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11, 11:30. I would set them exactly at that time and I remote view everybody. And I'm telling you, the information that was coming through was pretty shocking because of all of what I was seeing on each individual. But it's just like, and the thing is how I don't understand sometimes whenever I get that information, how I'm getting all the information. Sometimes, like I said, back in the day, I didn't know I was connecting with energy. I think back in the day, it wasn't so much remote viewing. It was more just connecting with their energy. I was learning to do that, but I didn't even know what that was because I didn't know how to connect with the person's energy. So as I look back now, even the past life stuff, I think I was actually going into people's past lives and actually transporting my energy into their past lives because I was seeing things. I mean, I was seeing things overseas or I was seeing this and I would look it up. I'm like, holy crap, that really is there. That really exists. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one thing. I've done a past life regression once. Something I've always wanted to do again. Let's see what else is back there.
Now, you know the difference from a past life regression and a past life reading?
Well, go ahead and explain that for our viewers.
Okay, so a past life regression, I've been through this before where they actually take you back. They'll take you back before you were born. They'll take you back as far as they can go. And then they bring you back and stuff. That's the past life. Like I think that's a past life regression. See, a past life is different for me. A past life reading is actually connecting with them when they were in their past life, seeing them, who they were, their name, what they did. Explain something to you. So I did an individual. He wanted a past life reading. Okay, so I did a past life reading. I saw him on a certain name of a plane. I saw him crash. I saw him go missing. All this stuff was given to him. And he actually looked it up and he was having nightmares of being in a plane crashing all the time. So he ended up looking up the information. He found this actual person, exact person, name and plane. And he actually had a picture of him and he put his picture and the individual that was in the past, their pictures together and they look like identical twins. So how crazy is that, right?
Right.
But that's, you know, that's just how my past lives, but I don't do past lives hardly anymore. But sometimes I'll do it once in a while. But I'm telling you, the past life it's really, really kind of cool. But it scares me though, because I've read another individual and I saw her cutting her wrist and taking her life in the past. Well, she ended up doing it in the current life and taking her and cutting her wrist and having to be rushed to the hospital. So you got to be careful when you offer past life readings to people because it opens up something in their mind to where if they can't handle it, they might kill themselves, which is really sad.
there's a lot of us out there that deal with depression and stuff like that, and feel like can't do it no more. So you can't, as the tool that brought the information to them, you can't blame yourself.
Right.
You know, that's we're just the tool, the go between from the other side and here. So, but yeah, I can understand how someone was given information like that and could possibly freak out, not being able to handle it, wanting to start over, and it's always not the right thing to do. So, since we're on this topic real quick, if any of you guys out there are feeling low, depressed, need someone to talk to, please reach out, get help. We don't want to lose you. Doing something like that, like offing yourself, is not the way to go, guys. You have too many loved ones close by that love you and care about you. Heck, if you're watching the show, I care about you, so I love you. So, okay, back to the show, Rick.
No problem. No
Got my
problem.
little seriousness out there for a little message.
But like I said, I've read over like 14,000 people. I know people are like, what? But no, I've read over 14. And when I first started this, it was an obsession for me. Just like the EVPs was an obsession. I was reading 7 to 10 people a day. And the thing is, I was ruining my own family because all my time and energy went to EVPs and went to readings. Because I was blown away with this stuff. How am I seeing all this stuff? How am I connected with these people on this level to be able to see that stuff? And whenever I started connecting with past loved ones, man, it was a healing process for people to be able to offer direct connect information. Now, I want to explain something what a seer is. A lot of people don't understand what a seer is. What a seer is compared to a medium. A medium will connect with an individual on the other side. Okay, they can see, they can feel them. It's like they're right there with them. I've witnessed people do this. I can't do that. I can't do it on the other side. Whenever I connect with a past loved one, I connect with them when they were here on Earth, in their life state, when they were alive. Okay, so but I pick up, their depression, or I pick up, their happiness, or I pick up, what they did for work, or how they died, or what illnesses they were going through. And I give this direct connect information about an individual that the person's asking for a reading already knows this stuff, but how am I getting that information? How am I receiving all that information? But it kind of gives them a second validation that, that their loved one is still around, because they come and they give me information. They might tell me that they touched a person's hair, or they might show them butterflies all the time, or they might show them the dimes that's underneath, the actual dresser all the time. I see direct connect information to the individual that's happening in their life. So it's kind of cool to be able to get an actual reading, to be able to, I know you're reliving this stuff, but sometimes I get answers for you. Sometimes there's answers on how the person passed. Sometimes they have more information that they did not know, and they actually find out about it, and it really did happen. So it's kind of nice to be able to get that extra information for an individual that, like for instance, they say they have an argument, and mom's, they had an argument before they passed and stuff. I can see the argument. I can see what's going on. I can feel all that stuff. But it's kind of cool to be able to say, hey, mom, understood that you had an argument, but that was the past. We move on.
Yeah.
Loves you, all this stuff. But they hold that pain because they had an argument, and they keep it. And now they're letting that go because mom's saying, hey, it's okay. Let it go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've come across that when I do my readings. A few times, some people that have held on to some things for a long time that really is just baggage, that they weren't able to progress forward because they were holding on to this, and they kept dwelling on it. And the ones on the other side, they don't want them to dwell on that. They want them to be happy and think of the good times that they had, not the bad.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting whenever whenever I offer these readings, is like I want people to understand what a direct connect reader is too. So I go out and I'll do gallery readings, and I'll say I have 100 people in the audience. I directly connect with everybody that's there. So what I usually do is I would give out tickets to people, and I would hand everybody with a ticket, and I'll just draw a ticket, go to that individual, and I'll ask, do you want a past life? Do you want a past loved one? Or do you want an energy connection? and then I will offer what I see, hear, and feel. Okay. And I think that's kind of cool to be able to offer that, because, you know, if somebody comes there and they want to connect with their mom, all I need is the first name. I don't care if it's their mom, their daughter, brother, whatever. I just need a first name to connect. That's how I connect. So as soon as they give me that name of Sharon, I will instantly start connecting with Sharon. And it's an experience to actually come in there. I won't connect with John or Larry because I don't see that. I don't have that ability. I only have the ability to directly connect with that individual. So it's kind of cool to be able to connect with Sharon. Then the next person, they want to connect with Tom. I connect with Tom. I offer direct connect information. And then the next individual wants a past life reading. I will connect with their past life reading. So it's kind of cool to be able to give all that information and connect in many different ways to people. It just kind of blows people's minds.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. And you and I will definitely be talking in the future. I think I'm gonna have you do some reading for me. Check it out. You know, I think we can find some interesting information out.
And the thing is, whenever I do all readings, I never look at an individual. I always look down, and people are like, "Man, why do you look down all the time, man?" It kind of takes away from the. I said, "Listen, I was always trained this way in my own mind. You know, I always watch debunkers. Debunkers will always watch an individual, and they'll watch them. They'll watch how they connect. They'll watch how they look at the person. They'll watch and see if they're smiling too much, or they're laughing, or they're crying. See, I don't let any of those emotions affect me. I want to offer the reading, connect with the individual, and then I can talk about the reading. I don't want any information. I have to do it that way because this way it kind of proves to people that I'm not a fake, that
Yep.
I didn't look up stuff, because I'm reading all these people. I didn't look up anything. A lot of people might say, oh, he had to look that up. But no, I give them information that is not on that web, or I give them information that was not talked about. So I think this is actually an awesome thing because they know that's real.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm kind of similar when I use my cards. You know, I use soul cards, and when I'm staring at that card, I'm getting my information brought in, and it isn't until I know what I'm going to say that I look up. You know, so I'm not seeing how they react. You
Right.
know, my general reaction from them, I wait till after everything's said and done, and say, hey, you know, well, hopefully something resonated with you, and that's usually when they pop and go, well, they start listing everything off that where it resonated with them.
And it's kind of cool. You know, I don't have to have an individual in front of me. So I usually do a lot of text reading for people. Same thing. They just give me their first name, or if they want an energy connection, I connect with their energy. And it's kind of cool to be able to connect with a person's energy because, like I said, it's almost like they are an outlet and I'm a plug, and I just plug in. And
Mm-hmm.
not people. You have a guide, I have a guide, and I just get information downloaded to me as soon as I start reading. So it's really kind of cool. It's kind of cool experience. I mean, I post a lot of my readings on my page and stuff. You know, you can see some of the stuff, how people react and stuff. It's
Yeah,
kind of interesting to people. It is.
nice, very cool. So now, if anyone wants to get a hold of you for a reading, how do they get a hold of you?
Just get a hold of me on Facebook. I usually run all kinds of specials. I usually run like $20 deals or $30 deals. I mean, I'm not an expensive reader because, you know, I don't do this full time. I do this part time. I
Yep.
work a full day. I mean, I work 12 hours a day today to get my jobs done. But, you know, I just do this every once in a while. I don't really do it full time. I mean, would I do it full time? I don't even know if I would even want to do it full time because then I'd have to actually quit my job. And then, of course, that's where money comes in. You can't quit your job and try to live off of this because you can't, because then you have to charge people so much more money. And then that's going to knock you out a lot of people out wanting readings because they can't afford it. Nobody can afford higher prices like that. You know what I mean? Only certain individuals. So that's why I work my day job. I do this as a cheap rate just to help people out. But a lot of times I do a lot of free readings too. So I usually have free reading shows and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of cool. But the thing is, my gift never leaves me. It never leaves me. I can go like 3 months without doing any readings, and it's still there.
Mhm.
It never leaves me.
Oh yeah. You know, once you've tapped into it and you've understood it, it's going to be with you for a lifetime. It's, you know, like the old phrase, once you open Pandora's box, you can't put it back in again, or you let the genie out of the bottle. That's exactly how it is. You know, it's always going to be with you once you open up to it.
And the thing is, you know, I know a lot of people don't charge for readings, but I I don't charge a lot, but at the same time, I could probably charge a lot more, but I don't do that. But like I said, I usually run a special of $35, but sometimes I run $20 specials. And I understand, you got to understand, whenever I first used to do this for free, this is why I charge. Now, let me explain something to you, why I charge. Okay, this is why I charge, because I had an actual medium come to me, and she kind of did some chakra stuff on me and told me, she said, this is what's going on with you, Rick. I see you as a huge Coke. You're a huge Coke, and there's like 1,000 people have their straw and they are sucking you dry. Now, whenever I was first doing this readings, I do 7 to 10 a day. These were all free readings. My first 5,000 readings were all free. But it got to a point where they were draining me. They were taking advantage of me. They were using me. I had one person come to me 3 times in one day. Okay, it's okay to do free readings, but whenever they're sucking your soul dry and taking everything away from me, that's when I had to start charging. And she said, listen, you got to charge something, man. You got to charge something. You got to have some kind of exchange of energy. If you don't do that, they're just going to suck you dry. And that's what it was. I was being sucked dry. I was getting depressed. I was not able to sleep. I mean, people were contacting me 24/7. I mean, my wife was about ready to kick me out of the house because that's what was going on. And then whenever I started charging, it was only like $10 or even $15. I lost like thousands of people. They just never came back to me again because they were only there to take advantage of me. So that's why I started doing it. Now, the average person that maybe is doing it for free right now, but they're not getting hit 7 to 10 times a day. You know what I mean? That's a lot. Anybody, you know what I mean?
Yep, that is. And like me with my background with the church and everything, growing up in the spiritualist church, we didn't charge for readings. It was part of our natural Sunday service at the end of the services. And I was always taught that you don't use your gifts for personal gain. That's where I've always struggled to charge for a reading. And I've been told by many different psychics out there, like, hey, your time is worth something. You don't have to charge a lot, but also when people are getting it for free, they don't value it. There's no value to it in their book.
That's 100%.
So you gotta charge something.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Like I said, I mean, I see mediums out there charging $500, $1,000 for a 15, 20-minute session. I mean, I don't have that kind of clientele. I don't.
Yeah, no.
I usually have just people that actually are scraping up pop cans just to even get a $35 reading. So, like I said, a lot of times I do it for free. But I've done 14,000 readings. I think I've probably done close to 9. Let's see, probably I say 10,000, maybe 10,000 was free. 10,000 readings free.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a lot of readings. A lot of energy. And like I said, I almost lost my wife. I almost lost my family because all I was doing was readings all the time. I never gave them any time of day. I wouldn't. Every time I would go somewhere, I get a call. I need a reading, and let me tell you how scary it was. I was reading. This is how scary this is. I was reading an individual. I'm tired. I work all the time, and I was reading an individual. I had my family in my car, my kids in my car. This is how my mind was. And I was reading an individual. I had to do a reading before I went to the store. I went in the store. I brought my 2-year-old daughter. I brought my son and my other son, and we went to go do some shopping. And what I ended up doing, and sounds terrible, this is what happened. My mind was focused on reading people so much that I ended up leaving my daughter in the car. I ended up going inside. I put her in the back seat, and I forgot about her. And I went in. I'm texting people as I'm in the store, trying to spend time with my son. Then all of a sudden they clicked to me. Oh my God, where's my daughter? And my sons, they were oblivious. That's not their responsibility. So I went out to get my daughter, and she was hot and she'd been crying. Yeah, giving all your time and energy to all these people out here. They were just like pulling everything out of me, and I couldn't even concentrate on my own family.
Yeah, you gotta know when to shut that switch off, not pick up the phone, and stuff like that. In my case, I actually waited till my kids are all over the age of 18 and starting their own lives before I actually stepped out into this full as much as I am. If I was to do this with little ones still, I don't think I'd be able to. It would consume. I wouldn't be able to give them the quality time they deserve.
And that's the thing. I haven't been on Facebook very much. I haven't been very much doing anything. I don't even hardly do any shows anymore. I just like, this is all spending time with my family now. That's what it is. I spend time with my family. I think it's important. My family needs me, so I got to be here. I do some events here and there. I do like Witches Weekend up north, and I got a couple other events. I'm going to be going out to Arizona this year at a Creepy Con or something like that.
Nice.
I usually set up like 8 or 10 ghost hunts and reading events every year, but I kind of got away from that too because people just can't afford to come out anymore, and places are so expensive anymore. And it just makes it kind of hard. I have to take a day off of work, and that's money.
Yep.
And if I don't make enough money to cover that, it's not, I can't do it anymore. So that's why I kind of backed off to ghost hunts and readings and reading ghost hunts events anymore. It's just too costly. And I don't like fortune to come out to see things and to have fun. I don't like to do that. So
right. Yeah. And nobody can really afford a small fortune nowadays with this economy. You got to keep things cheap, and because all of us are struggling. I don't know anyone that is doing financially well right now.
No, it's pretty rough. I work, 40, 50 hours a week, or sometimes 60 hours a week. It all depends. But, even then, I still, I barely survive like anybody else. You know what I mean? I just barely survive. That's what we're all doing. Ain't nobody got that extra 20,000 in the account or extra 5,000 in the account. We're all living paycheck. If something goes wrong, and with my job, I drive a lot, so my cars break down all the time. So money is really not good. It's just not good. You know what I mean?
Trust me, I know about the car breakdowns. I've got 1,300 wrapped up in my truck in the last 3 weeks, and it's still not done.
That's the same with me. I just put 1,200 in my car, and they finally got it fixed. So yeah, and I just lost 2 vehicles last year. I lost a transmission, and I lost an engine blew. So yeah, it's just been a struggle, man. And then you got your family life, man. You gotta try to be there for their issues and stuff. Yeah.
Let's see. Yep, head above water. You got to keep swimming. But hey, I do want to say something. I did notice in the comments a few comments back that Laura was celebrating a birthday. So happy birthday, Laura.
Happy birthday to you. I like to sing too. I like to karaoke. I'm a karaoke nut.
Yeah. So, but yes, let's see. So now I like karaoke too, but I can't carry a tune in a bucket, so I don't tease people.
I like karaoke and dance. That's what I do. Karaoke and dance.
There you go.
I like to get the crowd.
Let's set up a ghost hunt somewhere. Karaoke, dancing, and pizza.
That's what we do, man. That's what I do. Whenever I do these ghost hunts, we do the ghost hunt. Then we at certain places, then we go karaoke. So which is kind of cool. As a matter of fact, I got a place in Indiana. The old jail sheriff's house. You know where that's at?
No, I haven't been there.
Okay, so I have some friends want me to come out there. So what we usually do is we go there. I rent it out from like 6 to midnight, and then from there we go karaoke at the bar up the road, and we just karaoke to 2-3 hours. 2-3 hours in the morning. So it's kind of cool, and it's actually a pretty cheap place. They don't cost a lot of money. It doesn't cost a lot of money to rent out the old sheriff Crown Point. It's in Crown Point, old sheriff's house. It doesn't cost, not very expensive. So they're pretty cool people, and it's a big jail, man. That's where what was his name?
I was gonna say, wasn't Dillinger there?
Dillinger escaped from there. So yeah.
Yep, that's definitely a place I should check out then. I've always been connected to the old mob stories ever since I was little.
But what I ought to do is I ought to rent that out again. And like I said, I'll rent it out and maybe just do a gallery reading, and then do a ghost hunt, and then go karaoke in. So I got friends dying for me to set it up. So I just set it up and make it happen. So,
well, depending on what it is, I'll try to make it over.
Yeah, it's always cool. They're always nice people. You just got to be careful when you go there, because you can't go there when there's a prom or when there's some kind of activity in town, because they have broken windows up on top, on the top, and the noise, even on the other floors, the noise is very loud. if they have, you know, something going on in town. So you got to go there whenever it's not so active with people in town. Then you get more evidence because you get great EVPs there. Great EVPs.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I was actually in it. The first time I went there, I went to try to get out. And this is, it doesn't lock. The main door to the other area doesn't lock. So I tried to get out. Could not get out, man. It would not let me out. It's like I was locked out. I locked inside. It wouldn't let me to get out into the main lobby. And then all of a sudden, the lady came over and it opened up for her like nothing.
They didn't want you to leave.
They didn't want me to leave, man.
They like you.
Or they didn't like me.
Well, I think they'd kick you right off if they didn't like you. They'd run you right out of there.
But you know,
they wanted you to stay and hang out.
Thing is, you know, I capture a lot of paranormal cool stuff because I don't know, it just seems like I get the footage. I always try to leave my cameras alone in places, and I just away and leave it. And I'm telling you, that's when you capture the most evidence. I've captured so much cool stuff by just leaving the camera there and watching something pick my camera up or knock my camera over or walk across or an interesting light go across or something. Like I just made a video the other day just doing the lightning, and all of a sudden this like looks like, and people are saying it's water, people saying it's not water, people saying it's vapor, saying this or whatever. But the thing is about it, it's got 1,100,000 views. So my stuff just gets so many views now because I have 63,000 followers. It seems like Facebook pushes it out or something. But all my stuff, I've got like over 12 million views on just on Facebook last year.
Nice.
You know, which is really kind of cool. You know what I mean? And the thing is, but they want you to post all day long, you know, 15 videos and this and this and this. It just takes too much time. Too much time, man.
Yep.
And if you don't do it, they start reducing your friends. They take them away. It's like, it's not fair. Don't take people away. What's wrong with you?
Right. Yeah. I'm just now trying to figure out that Facebook algorithm, and I post when I can. And there's sometimes when I'm off for a few days and I'm out doing stuff, my views shoot through the roof. And then when I don't post for a while, it's like no one ever sees it when I do.
I was posting 5 videos at a time. So 5 videos at a time, one right after another. And in the 5 videos, I would always get one that would hit 100,000 to 200,000. But then I kept doing that. And all of a sudden it just stopped. I didn't get none. Then all of a sudden I posted this video. Now it's like going nuts. It's got, you know, 1 million, like I said, 1,100,000 views on it. But the thing is, I mean, Facebook's not a big money maker for stuff like that. I mean, I don't make money for that. You know, I make like $35 or something for that $1 million view. 1 million views, you know what I mean? $35 is kind of embarrassing. If you was to take that in YouTube and get 1 million views, you'd probably get way more money. You know what I mean?
From what I've seen from others, it all depends on the amount of time if they watch the whole video. There's so many stipulations with that, and then you only get pennies of the dollars that they give you. Like when you have the super stickers and all that. You know, someone might donate $5. Well, you might only see $1 of that $5, for example. I don't know exact numbers, but I was told you don't get to see much.
And like I said, you know, it's the thing. Like I think Facebook about a year ago had some kind of transition. They were doing something different, and all of a sudden, people started going viral out of nowhere. They had no clue. I got in that little niche to where my stuff was going viral. Every time I post something, I get tons of views. So, and I got tons of, so I got in that, and I'm still in it. And it's like, I just yesterday, I got 700 followers. So it's just like, boom, overnight. Sometimes I get like 1,000 followers overnight. Depends on the video and how it does and how long they watch it.
Yeah.
Because one video had 1 million views on it, and I made $350 of 1 million views.
Nice.
But then you have some 1 million views, you get 10 cents. So it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. You can't figure out the rhyme or reason with it.
Yep, definitely. But I don't know. It's been kind of a cool show tonight.
Definitely. You know, I'm definitely have to have you back another night. Maybe look at doing some projects together in the future. Yeah. I think I'd like to get out and show you around some of the places here in Wisconsin.
That'd be cool. And you know what we can always do is do a reading show too. You
Yeah.
know, people come on and I can actually do a connection with them in the audience. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be.
I used to do that all the time for shows. I used to
Okay.
4 or 5 people, which is kind of cool, you know, so they can experience it, what's going on.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. I'll definitely have you back later in the summer, maybe early fall. We'll do a reading show.
Cool. So
First, let's ask the comments out. Ask the comment section. Everyone is following and talking. Should I have Rick back for a reading show? What do you guys say? I think it'd be a fun time.
it always is. It's kind of interesting to be able to actually and all the different people right there, and you can actually witness it. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll definitely have to do that.
You see my shirt?
Yeah. Cool. I like it.
Reader. Kind of cool. My wife got it for me. She gets me all kinds of cool stuff. She's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we've got some comments coming in. Yep. Great idea. I'm in. A lot of yes for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you guys are going to get what you're asking for. You're going to get it. So just make sure you keep in tune with Red Road Paranormal and Facebook and YouTube, and you'll see the announcement when we schedule it. So, but we are getting to the top of the hour. Now, again, if anyone wants to schedule a reading with you, how do they do that?
Just contact me on Facebook. That's all I got to do.
All right. Rick Waid on Facebook. And as far as anyone want to get a hold of me, you can reach me on Facebook, Bobbie RezNeck Calkins. You can message me there. I'm also on Instagram. Don't check that too much. Bobbie RezNeck Calkins again on TikTok and Red Road Paranormal on YouTube. So, well, I want to thank you for coming aboard. I do have one last question for you. If you could go out and do a paranormal investigation anywhere in the world, where would you go?
I would honestly like to go to Egypt.
Okay.
I want to go hit those pyramids, man.
See, I'd like to go to the Sphinx.
Yeah.
That's where I'm drawn to.
I just feel there'd be some crazy stuff, man. Crazy.
Definitely. Don, where would you go?
I would definitely go to Egypt because I'm drawn to Anubis.
There you go. Well, it sounds like we all need to figure out how to go to Egypt together.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like a game plan for sure.
Right? Shenanigans will be afoot. All right, guys. We're going to cut out of here for now. Remember, don't just sit and dream your life out, right? Don't sit and dream your life away. Get out there and live your dreams today. And thank you for tuning in to another week of Red Road Paranormal. And we're out of here.
Yep. Great show. Great show, guys. And have a great weekend, everybody.